Historical Interface Museum.
Who are you?
That's obvious, isn't it? I'm the curator. Who are you?
Melanie.
Melanie.
So, what do I do?
Got the glove on, Melanie?
Yeah?
Then use it.
Well, how?
It's your virtual reality control glove. Use it to select the evidence. Anything and everything that has survived is here. Evidence loaded.
What? All this?
It's all evidence of all different types. Select something.
Okay.
Ruins. Good choice.
Why?
They provide evidence of how the Romans built, how they lived, but it's not always obvious what they were. Try something else. You've selected artifacts, things that people made. From beads to busts to broken pots.
What are these?
Texts, things that people wrote. We've got plays and letters. We've got inscriptions on stone, inscriptions on wax. We've got papyrus and poems. Experts.
A few sporadic discoveries were made in
the ancient city of Verulamium.
We found 7 camels and a donkey who were all
evidence that came later. Historians and archaeologists give their views.
To me, one of the most dramatic.
Simple but wholesome.
Turn it down, Melanie. Thank you.
That's okay. What else is on the menu?
Why not try this one?
My master and mistress having a row.
Reconstructions of Roman life. They'll help you to see how it might have been.
Half time. You've been to all those museums. You've seen all those ancient vases with cracks all over them. Well, this is how it happens, you see. Yes.
Are you part of the evidence?
I am the curator.
Can I trust you?
Trust nothing. Use all the evidence to investigate the Roman Empire. Ready?
Ready.
You'll need the background data.
Okay.
753 BC. Romulus founds Rome.
Or so legend has it.
A small farming village on the banks of the River Tiber. The Romans were go-getters, and as time went by, they began to trade and then to conquer. First local tribes, then further and further afield. Civil war breaks out. Roman killing Roman in a battle for power. Then one man takes control, the first Roman emperor, Augustus. And still the empire grows, from Spain to Turkey, from Egypt to Scotland. At its height, the empire contains 70 million people, 1/5 of the world's population. Rome imposes her laws and her whole way of life throughout the mightiest empire the Western world has ever seen.
Stop, stop. It's too much too fast.
The Roman...
Oh, sorry.
Who were the Romans?
They were people, just like you and me. Well, you.
People. I'll start with people. I'd like a typical Roman. Who'd have been a typical Roman?
Select a piece of evidence. Build up a picture. Our Emperor's collection.
The Emperor was right at the top, wasn't he?
He was, right at the top. The supreme ruler of all the lands the Romans had conquered. To some, a god. Everywhere he went, everything he ate or said or did was recorded in some way.
What's this?
This is the Res Gestae, the record of what the Emperor Augustus did. He wrote it himself and had these tablets put all over the empire.
Annos undaviginti natus, exercitum privato concilio et privata. In pensa comparavi.
I don't understand.
Don't you speak Latin?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I, Augustus, freed the seas of piracy. At my command, 2 great armies conquered Ethiopia and Arabia. Vast enemy forces were cut down in battle and many towns captured. I, Augustus, brought peace to the furthest frontiers of the empire. I built the Senate House, restored the Capitol, built baths, libraries, aqueducts, markets, and 82 temples of the gods in the city of Rome. 3 times.
Did he really do all that? Or was he just showing off?
Try another opinion. Philo of Alexandria, who wrote during Augustus's lifetime.
Augustus was known as the emperor who calmed the storms crashing everywhere against the Roman Empire. He cleared the seas of pirates and filled it with merchant ships, trading between nation and nation. He civilized the savage tribes and taught them to live together in peace. He protected the ordinary man and woman and kept the peace and was generous to all.
It sounds...
Too good to be true?
I need more evidence.
You can even select 2 things at once. See if they tell the same story.
Okay. I'll take a text. And that.
You couldn't see how small Augustus was until somebody tall stood next to him. It was said his body was spotty with birthmarks all over it and rough places like ringworm caused by his constant scratching. His left side, the hip and leg weren't strong, so he often limped, and his health generally wasn't good.
Looks fine to me. But who's telling the truth?
That's your problem. The sculptor who carved the statue of Augustus wouldn't have wanted to upset him. On the other hand, Suetonius was writing 100 years after Augustus died. But like so many Romans, there was nothing he liked better than a royal scandal.
Caligula, I mean that business with the horse.
Oh, there's a mad streak in that family.
Took it to the Senate House, so they say, made it a senator.
No.
He did. Gave it a purple robe.
Purple?
The Emperor's colour.
Shocking. And what about Nero?
What about Nero?
Fixed his mother's bedroom ceiling.
Well, that's kind. Nice boy.
No, love, he fixed it. She's fast asleep and crash down it comes, and it's our arrivederci mother.
No way to run an empire. No style, no panache. Now,
Are those stories true?
They are all genuine Roman rumors.
They can't all have been that bad.
No, 28 emperors over 400 years. Some good, some bad, some plain ordinary. And they had a difficult job holding the empire together. Trajan, for instance, fought alongside his army in Romania, and Hadrian spent most of his time working to build and defend the empire against attack. It was hard work, morning till night, day after day, with a million things to check and organize, and this was a few thousand years before computers.
What's this?
Nero's palace. Select Suetonius's description and use the probe function to take a look around. It is now under your control. Try the step function.
The entrance hall is large enough to contain a huge statue of Nero himself, 120 feet high. The pillared arcade runs for a whole mile. An enormous pool is surrounded by buildings made to resemble cities. Everything in the palace is inlaid with gold and highlighted with gems and mother of pearl. There are dining rooms whose ceilings have rotating ivory panels to sprinkle flowers and pipes to spray perfume on those below.
It's hard to imagine.
You just have to do the best you can with the available evidence. You can take more.
I've had enough of emperors. Anyway, they're not typical Romans. The Queen's not typical.
Emperors considered themselves first among equals, but they were at the top of a very ordered society.
So who came next?
The senators.
And were they typical Romans?
Take a look around the senatorial collection.
So tell me about them.
There were 600 senators. To be a senator, you had to be rich and male. Romans believed that the higher the order you were in, the better behaved you had to be. This meant being serious, respectable, and living a good life. A senator was appointed for life, but could be sacked for bad behavior or for disagreeing with the emperor. Senators wore white togas with a broad purple stripe. They took the top jobs. They governed the provinces, commanded the legions, debated the laws. Their families were at the top of Roman society. and every opportunity was taken to display their wealth.
How much is that worth?
Nowadays, it's priceless, but even then, this was just for the very rich.
What's that?
A hairpin.
Who is she?
We don't know.
There must be some evidence. Where's the women's collection? Is that it?
Well, there are quite a lot of artifacts.
They must have written more than that.
No. Men tended to do the writing. It's difficult to know what the vast majority of women felt or thought. Select Reconstruction.
If you wish to get on in Rome, then you must be selected consul.
Isn't it enough to be in the Senate, Calpurnia? There were those who thought my speech yesterday as good as Cicero's. The kind of jobs that workmen do are simply not suitable for gentlemen. Fishmongers, butchers, cooks, actors, people of that sort, they are shameful occupations.
Yes, well, no wonder Cicero wrote it. You have to show how powerful you are. As a senator, you can sit in the front seat at the theatre or the games, so do so. If you give money for a building, they'll have your name carved on it. So give money.
Give money? No.
Show your power and people will come to you for favours. They'll stink out the atrium and they'll eat all our food, but remember, a crowded house is a sign of power and prestige.
I know it's better to be well known, but I'm not a politician.
But I am.
Is that evidence?
Well, it's not known how a husband and wife would have talked to one another. There are no recordings, but a lot of the facts in that reconstruction were right. From the writings of men, there's evidence that women were often powerful.
Yes, but they were senators' wives. What about the other people?
Next down the social ladder, knights. More rich and powerful men, but there weren't many of those. If you want the masses, select freemen, citizens of the empire.
Have you been out recently? Nose to tail carts, can't move. And the tradesmen, money, money, money. You owe it, they want it. Preferably yesterday. Laundry, the goldsmith, the weaver, the dye maker. Well, all right, you pay them off. Get rid of them. And another 300 arrive. All of them cluttering up your atrium and after your last copper penny.
More of our Freemen's collection.
To Italia, dressmaker of Cuccia Phyllis. She lived 20 years.
Plasterers, butchers, cart drivers, shoemakers, builders.
Samate Furious, hairdresser. Lived 19 years.
Bakers, teachers, metalsmiths, clothing peddlers, wool workers, civil servants, town criers.
Aurelia Naris sold fish at the warehouses of Gala.
Money collectors, cooks, factory workers, merchants and fish sellers, cleaners, dyers and tailors.
What's wrong?
That's about it.
But if there were so many of them, how come they've left so little?
They had less to start with, so they left less behind them. Few of them could write, and if they did, very little has survived. So nobody knows what the mass of people thought about their lives. Select Reconstruction.
This won't feed a family.
Shut up, I'm trying to think.
Tell you what I'm thinking of. This nice chicken I saw down the butcher's.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about Consul Marcus Laundry. We can get a contract for that lot. He wouldn't just pay well, be our patron too. We get a chicken every day.
Maybe you could take my brother on to learn the trade. Or maybe one day we'd be knights.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe one day your grandson might become a senator.
Yeah, and Rome might fall. Let's just get the contract first.
Yeah, let's be thankful we're free citizens. Not like that Sulla.
She gives herself such airs. And her husband was born a slave. He only got freed a few years ago.
Yeah, you can read them right, though.
He isn't even Roman.
Learned that as a slave.
Comes from Britain, so they say.
Yeah, and I've got to pay him to do it for me.
Yeah, well, it always shows, foreigners.
Any olive oil to cover that, bread?
So they'd be freed men.
Freemen, citizens born free. Freedmen were slaves that had been set free.
Okay, I'll try freedmen. Well, another collection with not much evidence.
2,000 years is a long time. Many things have not survived. The inscriptions are very interesting. Publius Marcius Philodomus, builder, freedman of Publius, built this tomb for himself and his family. Aulus Granius, auctioneer and herald, freedman of Marcus.
Here lies Plosia, a maid, freedwoman of Lucius. Hermes built this tomb for himself and his children, and his freedmen and freedwomen and their children. So these freemen and freedmen, they're the typical Romans. Investigation over.
Don't make up your mind until you've seen all the evidence. 3 out of every 5 people in Rome were slaves. Some acted as doctors, clerks, teachers.
Really?
Yes, many were educated.
What did the master say? Didn't he give you your freedom?
Something better.
Filiron, nothing's better than freedom.
Nothing's better than my freedom than mine and yours. I can buy your freedom too. We'll still be together.
He's a good man.
It's because he's so pleased with the way I've taught his son.
And our children?
We can work, earn some money, and buy their freedom too. And this child will be born a free citizen of Rome. Not even a freedman's felt cap for him.
Mad, what?
Is that a Pompeii again?
It's evidence of sorts. Selected.
Well, we should have to show something.
Oh, really, Ludicrous, tell me. Just really tell me one single solitary thing we can... Unless...
Ah! Oh, no, Master, please don't sell me. Oh, no, Master, please, I beg of you, don't sell me. Oh, God, I don't want to be sold. Don't sell me, I'm afraid of it. I haven't finished yet, long way down. Don't sell me, I swear I don't.
But it can't have been funny at the time. Slaves were human beings. Men and women bought and sold like goods or animals. I have run away. Capture me. When you return me to my master, Zonium, you will receive a reward. I am Acellus, slave of Praejectus. I have escaped from my post. Capture me, for I have run away. The slaves working the mines make their owners massive profits. They themselves, however, are destroyed, their bodies worn down from working in the mine shafts both day and night. Many die because of the mistreatment they suffer. They are given no rest or break from their toil, but are forced on by the whiplashes of their overseers to endure the most dreadful hardships. No more evidence. So, Melanie, who was a typical Roman? Emperor or senator? Freeman or freedman? Slave?
All systems disengaging.